Hi everyone, I've got something exciting to share with you today. I was asked by Rachel Bella Crafts to join in the Christmas prompt this year. So my day is today, and alongside me is my Artful Crafts. I'll leave a link down below. And we were basically gifted a gorgeous Christmas kit, which again I'll link below for you to see. And our prompt was Festive Garland and Ribbon Snippets. So this is my project that I'm going to share with you today. So I've basically created a garland which the structure is made out of just some cereal boxes. So you can see here I'm using just some cereal boxes, and I've cut out various different sizes of like pendant shapes. I did about 7 in different sizes and then I've covered them with all these amazing papers. Honestly, the kits are just really pretty. So these are the papers that I chose for my particular project. So I've covered the individual pendant shapes, front and back, and this is the base of what my garland is going to be. So here I've just shown you that I'm putting a hole in the top of each corner, and I'm going to put in an eyelet just to reinforce where the garland will be hung. Just give it longevity really, and I think it always looks really nice with an actual eyelet put through as a sort of a professional sort of finish to it. But it will just mean that the cardboard won't get damaged or anything like that when it's actually strong. So yeah, I'm just popping some holes in the top there on either side, and there's my eyelet. I went with some Tim Holtz sort of antique bronze colour, because the kit is it can be either quite retro or very sort of shabby vintage, so I've kind of gone with that sort of shabby vibe, as that's what I like to do. I really love the papers in this kit, honestly, they're so pretty. So yeah, I've basically put in the eyelets in all the pieces, and now I'm showing you the die cuts that I've chosen from the digital kit. So there's some little like focal images, like that girl in particular, and then there's some sheets that have fussy cuts, so that poinsettia. And I'm just showing you that I've printed it several times, that poinsettia, and I've actually cut out different layers. And as you can see, I've used some more of that cereal cardboard just to back it, just to add some of that layering. I know you can obviously buy sticky foam pads, but I was just using what I had rather than going to buy anything. Just doing my upcycling, I guess. So yeah, I printed these on a really nice smooth matte cardstock, and then I've backed them with the layering pieces of the cereal boxes, because I want my garland to be sort of really dimensional. So it's just the right sort of thickness, I find, for the cereal boxes, and it's a good sturdy sort of card to use. So I'm just sort of picking out what I'd like to use and where I want to put it, and I'm going to show you individually each of the pendants that I put together. So this is a great scrap busting sort of project. So I've picked out scraps of old papers, like French calligraphy papers. As you can see, I've got some more of the cardboard on the back there just to lift it up from the actual pendant itself. So I've just basically, on every piece that's going down, it has a layering piece of cardboard behind it. And like I said, it's great for scrap busting. So all these are just scraps that I sort of had around my desk, and I'm using them as like a layering piece just to tuck behind the focal images itself. So here I've got a lovely piece of antique lace that isn't really big enough for like a pocket if I was going to use it in a journal. So I'm just using it just to layer behind the image of the books there, and I really love how it just gives it that more of an interest by just having these little tiny pieces of lace and script and things like hidden behind it. So I'm just using my art glitter glue, and I'm just positioning and layering, as I said, adding different textures. Like I said, the lace and the scraps of script and bit of sort of linen fabric there as well. There's some really lovely little tiny labels that I've picked out a few that I'm just adding here. Really, really pretty kits. There's so much to choose from. Like I said, I'll leave a link below of where you can find all these kits that we've been using. So yeah, this is my first time being invited to this Christmas collaboration. So thank you so much for inviting me this year. I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, absolutely spoilt for choice of all the different things that you can create. And so basically the whole month of November, if you're not familiar with it, so let me backtrack here. Every day of November there are two crafters that will post their project on that day, and there's a prompt for each day, so all the prompts are completely different. So there's so many different amazing designers, people I've not heard of myself, so it's really fun to follow new people that I've never seen before. And you know, there's like I said, so many people. It's amazing how you can have such a different take on the same prompt. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what my partner of today is. Like I said, it's My Artful Crafts, so I'm going to leave a link of her channel below. Yeah, and so for the whole month, like I said, of November, that you're just going to have double the inspiration of how to use these amazing kits. So yeah, please obviously check everybody else out as well. Yeah, it's so well organised as well. It's really, really fun. So here I'm just adding some more of my scrap pieces of lace that I've got lying around, and I really thought it went quite well with the image of the sitting chair. Just that sort of cosy feel, like it was like a throw or something, that you were sat there maybe listening to your Christmas music. So yeah, like I said, I picked out images that I really thought sort of went together. There are, like I said, some really sort of retro looking ones, but I wanted to go with sort of a rustic vibe because that's the kind of style that I like. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. As you can see here, I'm not sticking my images on straight. I want to have them sort of at a wonky effect, so it just gives it a little bit more interest than just putting it, you know, square onto the actual base of the garland. So yeah, like I said, I did 7 in total. So this one here is my middle one, so this is the largest of the pendants, and so she's sort of a long skinny one. And then I did sort of wider but shorter on either side of her, and it just kind of descends to a smaller size towards the end of the garland either side. And there's that poinsettia, so there's multiple layers to the poinsettia. I printed it out I think 3 times, and I've just layered the cereal box cardboard in between just to give it that lift. I'm just adding a seam binding bow that I made. It's not playing ball with me today, so I had to just glue it so it wasn't hanging in her face. Here's some leftover packaging. Again, just adding, like building up my layers and adding more and more interest, different kind of surfaces and textures and things. And I'm going over the side of the pendant because it just makes it more interesting than keeping everything square. Love the the advertisements as sort of like a base piece as well. And then again, some more of my scrap sort of pieces that I've got lying around. Oops, I dropped that on there. But yeah, super, super pretty, really festive. And as you can see at the beginning of the video, I've got it hung up on my Welsh dresser at home, and yeah, it's kind of made me excited to get all the decorations out, if I'm honest. I'll be looking to do that pretty soon, I think. I just love decorations, Christmas decorations. So this was a really fun project to be able to create something that I can hang up in my own home as well. So this is the very last pendant, which is on the outer side. So I've got some leftover tool pieces there. Again, really minuscule kind of pieces of scrap, but just adds that little bit of interest. And yeah. So we can't have Christmas without a bit of glitter. So I dug out my glass glitter. I only really bring this out for Christmas. So it is literally shards of tiny glass. I think it's like a German thing. I think I got it off Etsy, if I remember correctly. I've had it for a while, but it was a big jar, so it lasted quite a long time. So again, using my cereal cardboard packaging, I cut out some stars. So I've got large and small. And I'm just using my art glitter glue to sort of cover that as much as possible. But then I'll end up just taking my finger and smooshing it over so it's all completely covered. I just love that German glass glitter. It's just really, really so sparkly, and it is actually something that will tarnish over time as well, so you will get that sort of vintage vibe in a couple of years. So yeah, I've glued one side of it. Obviously where I'm holding it with the tweezers, I'm going to have to go back. It looks like I've missed a piece there, but it's actually a really large shard of glass that's just on that top piece. I didn't really like that because it looked like I'd missed it, so I've just actually put a little bit more glue on the top of there. It's not picking it up brilliantly in focus, I'm afraid, but you get the idea. It's just covering the cardboard with the art glitter glue, and then obviously, you know, covered it in the glitter itself. On the ones that I've previously done, I actually did front and back, just to make sure that it was all completely covered. But just for, you know, showing purposes, I just did one side. So here I am, just sort of placing my little stars everywhere. So the idea was that I was going to have a star on every pendant itself. It just really adds that sort of, I don't know, that exciting, you know, glistening of snow and glitter for Christmas. And it just really sort of helps everything pop on the actual, like just helps everything sort of pop as all the pictures are all come together, and it just, you know, gives it a little bit more interest. So with this one, I would recommend actually gluing them down with a hot glue gun. Art glitter glue didn't seem to work that well, so I did that. Here I'm just showing you different twines that I'd picked out. So I had a gold baker's twine, but then I decided that I would go with the burlap instead to give it that sort of rustic vibe. And then, as our prompt is Festive Garland and Ribbon Snippets, I decided to use ribbon as little snippets on the actual burlap twine itself. So I get a bit fumbly with my hands here, but I'm basically taking pieces of ribbon that I've sort of picked out the colours that go with the images that I've chosen, and I'm just tying them in between each pendant. What I then decided was I would hang it up and then do all my tying, because even though I'd obviously strung my pendant together, it wasn't equal, and I wanted to make sure that everything was in the right place where it should, because obviously undoing all those, you know, to move them around, it is quite fiddly. So what I then did, after I just showing you this, I then went back to my house, and then, because I'm based in a little garden studio, my crafting area, I went back into the house and actually hung it up where I would normally hang some Christmas bells at Christmas. And then I could actually visualise and make sure that it was all equal where it needed to be, and then obviously make sure that the ribbon was tied in the correct places. So yeah, I went in between each pendant basically. So here is the finished garland itself. I absolutely love how it came out. I think it was just so, so festive, and a really interesting piece to look at in the home. Please do obviously check out anybody's. Please do check out anybody else's everybody else's videos for this month, because I highly recommend. You're going to find a lot of talent and, you know, new people to follow, and obviously, you know, a lot of inspiration from all these kits, so you will not be stuck. I just want to say thank you again for inviting me this year. I really have enjoyed taking part, and yeah, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you later.